again, welcome. About 6 to 7 months ago, I was chit-chatting with a good friend of mine. We were talking about the World Economic Forum, we were talking about the CBDCs, central bank, digital currency, etc., the war in Ukraine, and the economic problems resulting from that, etc. And while we were talking, he placed one remark, and it hit me. He told me he will never enter into partnership with another company. I said, okay, I understand that, but you have to explain to me why you are saying that. He said, when I have an organization and I work alone, if I make $100, I do more. It's for me. If I make $1 million, it's for me alone. I said, thought about with the resources you have, make $100 or $1 million, you have an accounting profit, but you have an economic loss. How? I said, okay, if you combine forces with somebody else, with the same resources, you combine the forces, you do more and deeper. Instead of making $100, you can make $1,000 together and split it in half, and you have 500. So doing it alone gives you an accounting profit, but it's an economic loss because the next best alternative gives you more money than that. Okay. And I must say that he has tried since then to enter into partnerships. He's not in oil and gas. He has 4 employees and he makes, I think, about $13,000 each month. And he has tried to enter into partnerships with other companies, but I'm not sure if it has worked out. I will check with him. But what I'm trying to say is, while we are talking about partnerships, there are some obstacles, but we must be keeping in mind what I have just said, because that's the most important thing in partnerships. Partnerships you should construct based on your analysis of the situation, and you must find a way to earn more, double what you earn alone. Because when you divide it, when you share it, it should be more than you make when you're alone. So keep that in mind. And it is very important to stress that we are talking about partnerships in corporations. But I have worked for the government and the private sector in different positions for the past 35 years. And to you, to me, to many people, it's logic. It's logical that the fundamental building block of partnerships within companies, within every community, is the partnership between the government and the private sector. Yes, of course, we know that. But when you are in the government, the goals are diverging. The goal of the private sector is to increase their wealth, have more income to operate their business. And once they have the income, they need to take care, of course, of their social corporate responsibility. And the goal of government is stimulate and facilitate the private sector to earn more money in order for the government to collect more taxes at the end of the month or the end of the year and take care of the greater good for the people. So there is no diversion. There should be a convergence of goals. And once we understand that and make a construction whereby there is continuously communication between the government and the private sector, then we will get where we will be getting with regard especially to oil and gas. Okay, why have I chosen for this subject is because we know that in 2014 we had a drop in price, a heavy drop. And 2015, 2016, many financial companies, they back off. They didn't finance anymore the businesses, the corporations with regards to oil and gas. And in 2020, the COVID pandemic hit and many companies went bankrupt. When you are talking about bankruptcy, it's about $300 billion that they have lost during the period 2015 till 2021. And the reasons are, first of all, the drop in price, and secondly, the COVID pandemic. But I think, and according to experts, there are more reasons. One of the reasons is lack of anticipation. Because if you look at countries like Venezuela, Russia even, Venezuela, Nigeria, you see that they went down the drain. But on the other hand, if you look at Canada and you look at Norway, they lift up because they anticipated on what will be coming. And Norway has driven to their country experts and people with experience, so they were able to anticipate on everything that might be happening, challenges. Before the challenges become problem, they took care of that. And if you keep that in mind, that you know that you have to attract experts to support you, to anticipate. What I'm saying, partnerships, when you need the rules of partnerships, you need to go to Mr. Shannarai. He knows everything about it. But what I am saying, a partnership can only survive and be sustainable once you have an accu. You know what an accu is? That's a power generator. A power generator for cars. You have anticipation, you have commitment, you have character, and you have understanding. Those are the only personal traits for a partnership to work. And if you want to have the legal framework and what have you, you go to the experts. Because if I go, for instance, to ChatGPT and I ask them how you construct a car, they give me all the details. If I have the attributes and I have everything to construct the car, I will construct it. But would you buy it? No, because I'm not experienced. Go to the experts. Let them help you and make a strong organization with people, trustworthy people in their field. That's the character of a good partnership, and that's the only way it would work. So if you look at the different countries, they made partnerships after the problem. Saudi Arabia, all of them made partnerships, and they have climbed because they have survived after the clash, after the problems, because of strong partnerships. And that's why we need to stress, we need to emphasize that don't underestimate the power of partnerships, not simply because of a partnership, but simply because of experts and experienced people that would be working together, especially in the oil field and the gas field. And I hope that that is understood, and I'm glad I've listened to the president yesterday, and he mentioned this a lot of time. But I'm looking at the government, what they will be doing with the laws, because Mr. Shamnarayan said there is room for change of the laws. And I think we should speed up. We should speed up the process. Otherwise, we might miss the boat, and we're not in for that. Okay, let's go to the slides. I will I'm accustomed to that. I'm accustomed to that. Most of the time, someone is doing that sort of thing. Okay. I will be speeding up the process, Mr. Adelaide. I will be speeding up the process, and I will skip some slides because this is more a theoretical framework. And if you want that information, you just go to Google or ChatGPT. I won't take your time. No. It's not necessary, I think. So, collaboration is the key in the oil and gas industry. And what is important when you are about to finance your business, you have three broad options. You go for debt financing, you go for equity financing, and the third one is not a financing model, but it is being used because financial resources are being pulled together to reach the target. That is partnership. So, for the sake of this discussion, we will skip the debt financing because you borrow money and you put it as a liability on your balance sheet, and that's it. Nobody cares. The bank is looking at you every month or every year. When are you going to pay? And we are stuck with debt financing, with equity financing and partnership. What is wrong here? Okay. We will compare those two. Equity financing, we have the main differences, and equity financing that involves selling the company shares, you know that. No debt or interest obligations, give financial leverage, and the advantages is good credit rating and attract long-term investors. Okay, you have the partnership, you form a joint venture with another entity that contributes to capital assets and or expertise for a specific project, reduce financial risk and burden share project cost and liability with partners, leverage partners, expertise, resources, and network. You can go on ahead and read it. How long was that? 3 minutes? 5 minutes. Okay. Equity financing, the disadvantages. You know that equity financing, it dilutes ownership and control of existing shareholders. You know that. It's leading to a lower dividends on share prices, and there's more scrutiny and regulations. And you need to issue new shares for equity financing. You have with partnership, the disadvantages are conflict, disputes, and that's why you need experts. Because also conflict resolution and dispute resolution, you know, that is one important building block of every cooperation, of every collaboration. And you have less control over the project due to coordination and compromise, legal and contractual. Oh. Okay, based on what I have just mentioned, we have chosen for our understanding of the situation, especially in Suriname, we need partners. We need people involved in the operation to support our operation, and we are calling upon everybody to form those partnerships with Suriname because there is potential and there is also a need for experts.